Welcome to this episode of the Conspiracy Cast. Don't touch my laptop, Dan.
I'm sorry, I was in.
I'm kidding. I don't care. I don't care. It's just a thing. It's just a thing.
Okay, that's a little too far.
Right here on Tales of Earth, a show where we sit down, we three non-experts, and discuss a conspiracy of some kind. And we determine whether or not we believe it, and why or why not. We do this live on twitch.tv/eligiblemonster every Monday at 2 p.m. Eastern. You can support us by subscribing to this channel. You can also find some Tales of Earth merch. Mm-hmm. If you shorten that, it'd be toe merch. We don't want to call it toe merch. Through the link below. Or you can go to patreon.com/comicstorian, where you can get early access to this show as well as
now
other
that he
shows.
said that, I kind of want guys to come out with like a Cthulhu toe ring.
Yes.
Also, just to
The
plug
fact
in
that
there
you can
as well.
say that without cracking a smile.
One thing as well I want to mention,
Yeah.
we will shortly be moving the streaming over to twitch.tv/comicstorian, where we will be live streaming all of our podcasts. We have not done that just yet, but I want to let you know so you can go follow that channel and get those notifications when we do start doing that.
Mm-hmm. Today with us we have
Dan.
All right, great. I'm Gary, and this is
Andy.
What lovely names.
What?
All right. So
face.
have you guys ever been abducted by an extraterrestrial?
My
Well,
face.
duh.
Twice.
Twice.
Yes.
Wow, quick answers. I have not, that I know
Really?
of. And you seem surprised.
Well, have you?
I mean,
he is a
Yeah.
legitimate fear, don't you?
Yes, I
Of
do.
being
I'm
abducted
actually
by
just about ready to
aliens?
talk
Oh,
about
really?
that. Yes.
Yeah.
One of my genuine fears is being abducted by aliens.
Interesting.
It is a genuine phobia. It's like less severe. It's
Okay.
abated a little bit.
Right.
As I've
Do you
gotten
not like
older,
drive through cornfields late at night?
I try not to.
Okay,
I
fair.
actually have other reasons for that.
Oh, okay.
It's called Children of the Corn.
Yeah.
Basically,
okay.
80s and 90s movies have ruined our
corn is
generation for
not
life.
good, yeah.
Yeah. So, what I was going to say is me neither, but you guys apparently have been abducted by aliens.
Twice.
Did you ever see the movie Fire in the Sky?
No, I did not.
Did you ever see the movie Fire in the Sky?
I don't think
So
so.
it's supposedly based on a true story of these
Okay.
guys who are out in the woods. One of their friends gets abducted by aliens, but they witness the whole thing.
Right.
They actually see it happen.
Okay. I don't think I've
the
seen
guy
this movie.
disappears, comes back like some odd time later. I can't remember. It's been a long time since I've seen the movie. Guy reappears, just like traumatized from his experience.
So not nice aliens.
Not nice aliens. Yeah, the whole portrayal is
Very polite.
well, the portrayal of the aliens,
Close Encounters?
of the extraterrestrials, yeah, it's not like that. Is very gritty. It's very dark. These
Okay.
are your typical grays, but they're just not nice.
Like mean
that's
grays.
racist.
Yeah, their ship is filthy. Like there's just like debris like everywhere from like their abductions, and it's a pretty frightening film. But supposedly based on a true story. That was the movie that ruined me for alien abductions. Yep.
So what you need
So
to do
if
is
I-
counteract that with Close Encounters of the Third Kind,
Like, oh,
where they just show up and they take your hand and lead you in, and apparently you learn the mysteries of the universe.
All right.
Yes.
I like it. I like that version more.
Yeah, me too. Or Star Trek.
Or Star Trek.
Yeah.
Or
But
literally any sci-fi show from outer space.
yeah, so when we're camping, I actually have have had in the past more fear of being abducted by an alien than I have of like bears or other actual threats. A few years ago, we were camping and I actually woke up from a dead sleep, scared that I was going to be abducted by aliens. I was like, ah.
I just got this image of his daughter now. She's like, Daddy, should we worry about like snakes and bears and stuff? He's like, nah.
No.
Aliens.
You see that vast, dark sky? They could be anywhere.
That's how you scare your daughter.
Yeah, they could come from any direction, anytime. Good night,
don't
sweetheart.
know.
Sleep tight. Sleep tight.
Also, they usually get you while you're sleeping,
yeah.
and you don't know until you're
They
in their
can,
ship.
All right. See you in the morning.
Yes. See, Eleanor, they hit you with this beam of light. They cause paralysis. What's paralysis? Okay, let me explain paralysis.
Oh my god!
All right.
Knowing Eleanor, she'd have some quippy like response
About how
to
you're
that.
such a big baby, Dad.
Pretty much. Yeah. Like, so what do you think, Eleanor? I don't care.
She'd just be like, Bring it on.
Bring it on.
I'll show him who's boss.
And she would. All right, so now that I've confessed, I've made a confession about alien abduction. There are many theories as to what causes the alien abduction. What's the word I'm looking for?
Phobia?
No, not
Belief?
phobia. Belief. Why can't I think of the word? It's because I didn't write it down.
I was going to say,
do
you
it.
usually
You
write
write
down
down
everything.
Dylan, edit this out. I genuinely, I'm trying to think of the word.
Phenomenon?
Abduction?
Phenomenon.
Okay.
Yes. The alien abduction phenomenon. Okay, so this comes from the conversation.com, is personal traits.
Okay.
The reason the alien abduction phenomenon, especially beginning, I believe, in the 1950s, when mankind essentially became obsessed with space and space exploration,
Right.
aliens, and things like
next
that,
frontier.
science fiction, the final frontier, Dan.
Final frontier. Hey, I'm just saying, you
It's
can't
all right.
say it's the final frontier
Because we don't know.
because we don't know.
That's true.
Guys, we found another frontier.
No,
Damn it.
no more.
No more. Now we have to rename the other one. Now
Yeah.
it's the finaler frontier.
Yeah, the final,
The most final.
the most final. The finalist.
the finalist frontier.
Sorry.
One explanation for the alien abduction phenomena is personality traits. One explanation is that when people believe they have had an experience of alien abduction, they have misinterpreted, distorted, and conflated real and imagined events. Hence, skeptics of alien encounters explain them away in terms of psychological processes and personality characteristics.
That's fair.
Several studies report that experiencers do not typically differ from non-experiencers on objective psychological measures, those that assess psychological well-being and adjustments and have no history of mental instability. However, one characteristic that is associated with abduction experience is a proclivity for fantasy.
For fantasy.
For fantasy, yes.
Okay.
For people who love getting lost in fiction,
Right.
or maybe even people who are prone to telling lies, embellishing truth. So what they're saying is that some of these stories actually come from people who already have overactive imaginations.
Right.
Like they're not unstable. They just I heard this thing in my house last night. It must have been a ghost.
Right. It's one of those ones where their imagination is so wild that you can kind of give them an idea
Yes.
and
They
they
will
will
run it,
fabricate
yeah.
stories
Absolutely.
or
Absolutely.
use it to explain things that they cannot explain.
Exactly. You kind of plant the idea in their head, which is
Yeah.
actually one of the explanations as to why the alien abduction stories skyrocketed
Right,
during
yeah.
the 50s, 60s, and 70s, and then have actually lessened since then.
Right.
Because it was everywhere. It was in books, it was in magazines,
True,
it
yeah.
was on TV, it was on the radio. There was this extraterrestrial obsession for a lot of people. So another one is brain sensitivity. Studies suggest that neuropsychological theories, particularly sleep paralysis and temporal lobe sensitivity, also could explain claims of alien abduction. Sleep paralysis is a feeling of being conscious but unable to move, which I
Honestly,
experienced a little bit in my life.
That is something I have a fear of.
Sleep paralysis?
Being awake and not being able to move.
Being paralyzed but still being conscious.
Right.
It's a terrifying thought.
It's a terrifying thought.
Which occurs when a person passes between stages of wakefulness and sleep. In fact, abduction stories are down significantly in recent years. The main reason, according to the Boston Globe writer Linda McRobbie, is basically reason. People are becoming less gullible and less willing to believe the supernatural.
That's fair.
Although I wouldn't really classify alien abductions as supernatural. Because
As far as we know.
extra natural maybe.
How do you know? We don't know where they're from.
That's true. We don't know where they're from.
What's the...
Eleanor would tell me, Daddy, not up there. Around us.
Behind the tree.
Oh, Jesus. Yeah, she said that. Yeah. Oh, man.
She's just like, not above. She just
Behind.
points.
Yeah, oh my God.
Jesus.
I'm only, I got a little bit of a chill. Just could you
thinking about
imagine? Yeah, just imagine if
Yeah.
your daughter just out of the blue kind of went out of character and was like,
So straight up poltergeist moment.
Yeah.
there
he is.
Yes.
Screw that.
Yes.
Exactly.
I'm just
Yeah.
saying, technically speaking, they're not necessarily extraterrestrial. They could be extra dimensional.
That is a solid theory,
Yeah.
actually. Yeah.
Once again, another frontier.
One of the reasons why they can get here so quickly and so rapidly is because they're literally just like on the other side of a veil, essentially.
Camouflage.
Yes. Another theory is that aliens are us, and they're abducting us to study their past selves, possibly trying to figure out a cure for some disease or.
Okay.
Yeah.
They have a menagerie, and they need humans.
Sure.
Yeah.
Like a zoo.
Exactly.
Yeah. A human zoo. That's never been done before.
Nope.
Pretty sure it's been done in like every
Sci-fi,
It is
every
definitely
fantasy,
not an
ever.
episode of The Orville.
I was gonna say it's definitely an episode of
or Star Trek, or didn't they even do it in Futurama?
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah.
They did it in Rick and Morty as
What
well.
if?
Yeah.
What if there was a zoo in space and we were the animals? Oh, okay.
I love. See, my favorite is the Futurama though, is where they trick the humans into thinking they're going on vacation,
Yes. Yeah.
and their vacation is in a dome
Yeah.
that I believe it's a planet of apes.
Not a bad. Not.
I think
That's not
so,
a
yeah.
bad. That's not a bad. Like.
No, it's a
zoo.
good cover.
Yeah.
It gets net people in their natural habitat.
If someone said like, "Listen, come to this place where you'll never have to be worry about food or money or clothing.
Honestly,
you can
would
just
probably
relax
go.
and-
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, people are just gonna watch me.
Yeah.
So-
Can I get some
Great.
video games? They're
Can I
like,
get some- yeah.
Some TV maybe.
Yeah, whatever you want.
Yeah. I'm in.
Awesome.
Why not?
Can I bring my family? Like,
yeah.
you'll never know that you're in a zoo.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Awesome. Let's do this. Thanks. I appreciate it.
I don't know why people are so upset about this.
Another theory is that the government is doing it.
The government is
Okay.
abducting us?
Yes, the government is actually causing abductions.
Causing abductions.
Or creating them. Doing
Oh,
them.
like
They're doing
It's
it,
actually
and then
our
they give
pointing
you-
the aliens
yeah.
to us. Like,
Yeah,
this guy right
yeah,
here.
yeah,
Yeah.
I looked up like they
no,
were
no,
there.
no, not that one. Not
I guess-
that one.
I guess
He's too sane.
that our
That
government
one.
is actually perpetrating the abductions.
I see. Okay.
Okay. So the
using-
government is abducting
Using
us
top secret technology
Right.
and studying.
and injecting us with drugs so
humans
that
for
we
some
think
reason.
that
Maybe.
they're aliens.
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe they're just
Hallucinations.
interesting suits that they're wearing.
The gray suits.
Which was done in X-Files.
They are
Was
gray
it?
suits.
Yeah, it was
Man,
done in
everybody
X-Files. Yeah,
steals
yeah.
everything.
It was the guys.
All our genius
So
ideas.
it was the guys in the alien
Are very
suits.
original.
Oh, very original.
It was the
idea.
guys in the alien suits who were like undercover for something, got abducted by aliens.
That's hilarious.
and
Okay,
so they're
that's
like
good. I
sitting
like
in
it.
one of their cells, like smoking.
Yeah,
But they look like aliens. That was hilarious.
That's
I
pretty
love
good.
it.
That- I like
Yeah,
that.
that's pretty
I
good,
like
yeah.
that a lot, actually.
Yeah, so that's one theory is that our government or world governments are
I
actually
could see
doing
that
this.
if they were like experimenting on us,
Right.
and that sort of thing. Because then it's just all a giant conspiracy.
Yeah.
Yes, it is. We don't
Hence
know
the
anything
show.
about that. Yeah. What do you think? I figured you guys have a lot more to say about that. Yeah.
Oh, that was the end. Oh, I didn't realize we were.
Well,
at the end.
that's not
I
the
don't.
end.
I don't like
Just
interrupting
about
when
Yeah,
you're like in a
I thought we were
flow.
giving us more information.
What do you guys
Yeah.
think about that? Genuinely, what do you think about this idea?
Honestly,
How would it work? Like, is there any weight to this concept that our government?
I would not be surprised actually if it was the government, and it would also explain why it was a big burst in a short period of time.
Okay.
Then they realized that people were slowly catching on to. Wait a second, there's no way it's this, and they're like, okay,
Right.
now we need to kind of
Much like the
reel it
MK
back.
Ultra thing, like they
Right.
could have been whatever they were trying to test. They could have been like, "It's just not working out. We'll just slowly-"
Exactly. Maybe
peel back.
they reached a point they were like, all right. Right, maybe it wasn't even they're abducting people for the sake of doing experiments on them, but more as a social experiment to see how other people would react to them saying they had gotten abducted. Like kind of
can be a part of it, sure.
kind of test mass hysteria in a way.
Right, right.
Like see whether or not if almost testing to see if an enemy nation came in and started abducting and then returning
Right.
our citizens, how would our population react to that?
I think one possibility, and this is my theory entirely, which we don't make up on here.
No, definitely not.
Is that what if our government is testing just at random on people their ability to abduct, to run experiments on, maybe even extract information from human beings, and then return them home without them ever knowing it happened. Now, the
Right.
benefit to that would be special ops of some kind.
Sure,
Would
yeah.
be the government being able to send a team in somewhere, abduct a person of a high-ranking official in some other military, whatever. run these experiments on them. Maybe they have some way of extracting information from them while they're unconscious.
Right.
Or maybe they have a way of extracting information from them while they're in a conscious-like state, but they won't remember it. Take them back home. You never know
Right.
that your like general,
I had a
military,
weird dream last
Yeah,
night.
right,
It was
right.
bright lights. and
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever.
People
general,
descending
whatever general.
from the sky. Turns out it was a
Yes.
Black Hawk helicopter and a
Right.
bunch of special forces guy. But
They came
Yeah.
over here in some sort of van-like mission.
Yeah, right.
There were no
But-
windows, so clearly it was a spaceship.
But if
Clear.
it's the U.S. government, we already know, like with MK Ultra,
Yeah.
that our government is not afraid to experiment on us.
yes,
Without
or at least they
us.
weren't.
Without,
Yeah.
right.
Who knows
I don't
if they
think.
still are?
Maybe they still are. Maybe
Our
they
Maybe they're
government
just
would never do
so sophisticated now
Exactly.
that you don't even remember images.
Yes, they're getting better at it.
Exactly. They were
They're
testing.
so good at it.
Maybe that's what it is. Not so much testing getting information, but testing people's ability to
Remember,
recollect
based off of
in-
what they do.
exactly.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
And maybe they've just gotten so much better at it that it is still happening. People just can't remember. And they
Yes.
truly, like, almost treat it like a dream where you wake up, it's very vivid, and then very quickly you forget everything that happened.
Yeah.
And they have just
Yeah.
gotten so much more sophisticated at
Yeah.
it, and that's why we have not gotten as many reports.
Yeah, that's actually on my list. Is one of our theories.
Oh, is that?
As
Way
to
to
why
steal the idea.
as to why the
They
claims.
stole my idea, clearly. I said it first.
But yeah, that's one of the theories that they're either the government or the aliens themselves are just getting better at it. That's why the claims of like I was abducted are down so much.
Yeah.
That's that maybe they're happening more, but we just don't remember it.
I like that idea that the aliens are getting better at it. That means at one point they had the ability to come to our planet and abduct us, but apparently not make it so we couldn't remember.
Efficiently?
Yeah.
Not
They're like,
efficiently,
man, we're
yeah.
not good at this.
It's human physiology. Yeah.
They actually got better because they were like, hey, Jeff, he remembered. What the hell, man?
Yeah.
Guy
It's
was
all
like-
over the news. Are you reading this?
He's only got like 3 fingers on it. Like
Alien Jeff.
Alien Jeff.
Alien Jeff.
All right. Another theory is that alien abductions are just suppressed memories of childbirth.
Interesting.
Think about it. Put the pieces of the
Actually,
puzzle
yeah.
together.
light. You're
Yeah.
coming towards it.
You have no control over your body.
No
control
control.
of your body.
Yep.
You're-
Weird people
you're in-
standing around.
You're in a
I mean,
liquid tube.
like fire in the sky.
Luckily, in that situation, you're not getting put back.
Right. That's true. Man, I just remember this thing, and then I was back here, and it's all safe and warm and gooey.
and gooey. Ugh.
But yeah, that's one theory. Is that when people
actually like that
experience
one.
this,
That's-
it's those hyper suppressed memories. That's
Yeah.
why they are so fuzzy. Is because they're fuzzy memories. Like
Yeah.
you can't recall all that. But what you do recall is the
And you would-
traumatizing parts.
Exactly, and
so-
you would also have the memory of, because obviously when you're born, you can't fully see, of a vague
Exactly.
being
Like
taking
Standing
you.
over you. Yep.
I could.
Prodding you.
I came out talking, walking.
So you're like Will Ferrell in the Saturday Night Live
Kinda,
skit.
yeah.
Skit. It's hot in there.
So the only thing I would have against that is not every abduction story is like, oh, I was abducted from my bed. You know, some people are
I
like,
saw bright lights.
yeah. Some people are like, I was driving home one night and
That's fair.
suddenly
True.
lights were all around my car. Like, now granted, most of the time those people are like, I was driving home from the bar last night.
Right.
But I'm just saying, like, not every. Now, if every abduction story was I was abducted from my bed, yes, you could say it was a dream. I would say,
Right.
but
Right.
not every abduction story is. So
I mean,
It's
it
true.
could also
It's
be
true.
a very
but
vivid
it might
daydream,
explain.
though.
Yes.
it might explain some of them.
Yes.
Yeah.
Some of them.
And yes, also very vivid daydream.
Because I've
Also-
had that before where you kind of are either in like a very tired
Yeah.
or very unfocused state where you start thinking things and then you kind of snap back and your first thought is, wait, did that happen or did I just think it?
Yes. All the time.
All the time.
Yeah, it's not a good idea to drive home from LSD parties.
Or attend LSD parties.
Or that.
A public service announcement
Yes.
from Tales of Earth.
If you've been at an LSD party,
Don't.
don't go anywhere. Just don't do it. Yeah, just don't do it. It's not a good idea. So lastly, and my favorite, it really is aliens, and they were really bad at it. but now they're getting better at it.
Interesting. I like that theory.
That one's
is
my
that
favorite,
they
yes.
have the technology.
It's a learning curve
to
for them.
cross the universe.
Right.
Because
Yes.
you got to assume, just like anything else, it's a learning curve. So maybe these aliens recently perfected the ability to travel across the galaxy.
Yes.
They found our little dirt ball and we're like, oh, let's take a look at these people. I mean, we got that one ray that'll pick them right off the ground, right?
Yeah. Well, we haven't thought much past that.
Yeah, exactly. And they were like, "Oh crap, we didn't think about that."
That one
These
ray
actually
thing.
talk. Well,
Right.
they make noises. We don't know
They
if they're
make
talking.
noises.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I mean, maybe they are doing what we thought the government was doing, and they were like, you know what? Here's a planet of some sort of mammal creature. Let's try it on them before we go do it on Glarkon 63.
Yeah.
Omicron Persei 8.
Yes. What's that from?
Futurama.
Okay, I should have known. I should have known.
Omicron Persei 8. I like that idea. Was they show up the planet, they're like, look at all these strange animals. Well, they have these pink ape things too.
Pink ape things.
And they're wearing denim for some reason.
They make noises. They don't.
That looks like the thing we've got in our zoo. Let's grab it.
Denim. They're wearing denim. They know what denim is.
Yeah, they know what denim
Yeah.
is. These aliens very much into
Aliens in full
fashion.
denim.
Yeah. Well, you know, a lot of rednecks.
So they
get
look
picked
like
up,
Tom
so.
Cruise from the 80s.
Kinda.
All of them.
Yeah, all of them.
Okay.
Yeah. Look at them all wearing denim. It's weird.
All right. So anyway.
Yes. Sorry.
No, it's a good theory because you have to wonder what the thought process is there. You know, why are they abducting us? Why is it essential that we don't remember it? Like, you got to think about the number of abduction stories, the number of UFO sightings, possible crash sites.
Right.
These extraterrestrials
Really
may
bad at
not
driving.
be that bright. Like, they may not be that bright. Like,
Right.
Well, just because you have advanced technology doesn't mean that you yourself.
Well, see, for
Are
me,
that
I would
smart.
say. Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, what if they are time travelers from the past coming to the future and they're trying to figure out what their technology does, and so they're testing it on us to figure it out, and then they
Wait,
learn,
they're from our past?
No, they're just aliens from their past.
I see. Okay.
I mean, almost as if we came from now to the way future and went to a different planet. They are doing the exact opposite of coming to our planet to go.
So it's actually their past technology, but it looks like future technology to us because of our development.
Exactly. And they're trying to figure out what it is. Similar to actually what we were discussing before the stream, where we were saying if we went back in time, we wouldn't know. It would be tricky to
remember what was from that time
exactly
period. Exactly.
what
Like,
was
man, what was
there,
around in the
how it
90s?
worked back then.
I remember the highlights, PlayStation.
That's
about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I got it. Here's what it is.
All right, let's
Okay,
hear it.
so the ancient civilizations theory, which is that there were other civilizations long before humans, right? They had advanced technology and things like that, and they died off, and then eventually humans came around. So they're from that past. They figured out time travel. They come to the future, and they're like, where is everybody? What are all these weird human-like things doing around here?
So they're from here. They're
They're
terrestrial.
from Earth.
Terrestrial
They're
in
an
origin.
ancient civilization.
Okay. Okay.
And then they pop forward in the future and they realize their civilization has been destroyed at some point, and they're like, what are all these people in denim doing? I don't know why everyone's in denim in my eye. It's just jeans. I say everyone's in
It's actually
denim, it makes it sound like they're in a denim
It's
jumpsuit.
very
but-
advanced dinosaurs that are coming from the past, and they're like, whoa.
Yeah. Whoa.
What did that meteor destroy?
Yeah. What
Yeah.
the hell?
That meteor is at least 100 years off when we detected it.
I like it. Yeah.
Yeah.
See, there you go.
Yeah. That's actually a great premise for a story.
I like it.
Hang on to that one.
I will. I'm making a note. I'll make a note after. I'll remember.
Let's see here. Okay. Experiencers claims share characteristics with sleep paralysis. Again, like we mentioned, a sense of being awake, not dreaming, and realistic perceptions of the environment. The inability to move, a feeling of fear or dread, and the sense of another presence, which our brains can create. Our brains have the ability to create the sense of another person being there.
So my thought process for sleep paralysis,
Yes.
and I was thinking this earlier, but I didn't want to interrupt, was it could be a combination of sleep paralysis with night terrors.
Yeah.
Kind of
absolutely.
combination. Like a night terror, you can't move, you are aware of what's going on, and then the night terror projects this idea of
Oh, sure.
a presence, an alien, something.
Absolutely.
in the
I've
room.
woken up
Yeah,
in the middle of the night in that half awake, half dream state, and I'm in my room. I know I'm in my room, but there's like a snake in the bed or something.
Yeah, something.
And I freak out, and
I mean, I had a ghost experience similar like that.
Really?
Actually, I was staying at, I want to say, it was one of the hotels in Boulder, and I woke up in the middle of the night, and there was someone standing at the end of my bed. And for some reason, it was like I saw it very, very vividly, but in no way did my body almost react or register kind of what was happening. And I just went back to bed. And the reason why...
Turns out somebody had broke into your room.
Actually, that was the thing that I always thought was like, why did it not register to me that there's a man in the room? And it freaked me out. But the thing that made me realize or convinced me it was a ghost story was actually because I described what I saw to my mom. This was before I was aware that the hotel was supposedly haunted.
Okay.
Is it the Lookout Hotel?
And no, it's just the Boulder Hotel, I think, or something like that.
Yeah.
And I remember describing it very vividly to her, and she literally went, Dan, are you aware that there are stories of it being haunted? And I was like, no, I've never heard of that before. And she showed me a picture of supposedly who's haunted, and it was exactly what I had described.
Interesting. So I like the idea that it was somebody who went into the wrong room.
Yeah.
And they're standing there, they like lock eyes on you, they're afraid to
And then
move.
if you wake up and they're expecting you to freak out and you just go back to bed, they're like,
I guess I'll leave.
I will. That is a very fair point, because I actually, when I was in college, I lived in an apartment complex, and all the buildings obviously look the same.
Yes.
And I went to the wrong building.
Yeah.
Went to where my apartment would be, and for some reason that family did not lock their door, and I just opened it, and I was like, I'm in the wrong apartment. Closed the door, and I left so quick.
That actually happens a lot when you live in apartment complexes.
Yeah.
I've lived in a few in my life, and it does happen a lot.
Because you do just kind of mindlessly go, oh, here's my building,
Sure,
walk
yeah,
up the stairs, like walk in, then isn't right.
Sit down, open a beer, realize it's a beer you've never bought, give it a try.
My brother actually got all the way.
There's a family sitting there going, looking at you all crazy.
Yep. So my brother Joe actually got all the way to the fridge once.
Did he really?
And then there was a family eating dinner, and he was like, I'm going to leave. And
That's
he just walked right out. He
funny.
got all the way to the fridge because they're all the same.
Yeah.
Like it's all the same layout.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
It's all the same. Yeah.
It's all got some of the same
Right.
furniture, because that's what the complex puts there.
I did that one time in the Army when I lived in the barracks, because barracks buildings all look the same. And I just went to the wrong floor. I was mildly intoxicated.
You never.
So I went to the wrong floor. The doors all look the same.
Right.
So I'm just like putting in the code to the door, and it's not working. I'm putting in the code to the door, it's not working. I'm putting in the code to the... I start banging on there. And it's like 2:00 in the morning. And I'm banging on the door thinking my roommate like did something, and some other guy opens the door. He's, I was like, my bad, man, wrong room. Walk away.
So you wake this guy up from a dead sleep to say, my bad.
My bad, man.
George, imagine what he's doing, thinking it's 2 a.m. in the morning.
Who is banging
this guy's
on my door?
slamming on my door.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Turns out I was one floor down. I had to go one more up.
Also common are a feeling of pressure on the chest and difficulty breathing, and of being held or restricted to a lying position. Most sleep paralysis attacks occur while the individual is lying on their back.
See, I still feel like this sounds like night terrors to me. Because I have had friends who suffer from night terrors, and they they wake up and there's something on the ceiling, or there's something staring at them from the corner. Yeah. So, I mean, if you don't know what night terrors are, or don't realize you suffer from night terrors,
I wake up with a wolf in the room. My dog has night terrors, and she's a husky. She's a German Shepherd Siberian Husky mix.
Oh yeah.
So when she howls, it's like that instinctive guttural howl. Right. It sounds like a wolf, and it is bone chilling.
Yeah.
And so that's what she does in the middle of the night. It's just like, and it like wakes up everybody. It's frightening.
Gary comes out of the bedroom firing.
So
just in case.
Yeah, poor doggy, poor puppy.
Just in case he comes out randomly,
start shooting.
No,
not at the dog, just what the dog might be howling at.
Yeah. So and
Jesus, you're not gonna shoot the dog.
Yep. And it takes a second. You have to like comfort her and like get her out of it.
Yeah.
Come down.
Or just assume that something is around the house.
Maybe.
Anyway, keep going.
All right. Story time. This is my favorite part. Denise Turner was.
Hold on. Actually,
Great start to a
before we
story.
go into this, I doubt you did the research, and I'm very curious when sleep studies began.
I don't.
Whether or not sleep studies began as a result to
My
UFO
guess-
sightings,
honestly,
and that's how we actually
You
came.
mean related to UFO sightings?
Yes,
Oh, okay.
exactly. Like
I
very,
was gonna say,
very.
I think sleep studies have been around for a long,
but like more
recent.
recent
Yeah,
kind of
yeah,
people
yeah.
going, what? Let's
Maybe
see
it's
what
night
this is.
terrors. Maybe
Right,
yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't think about that.
I don't know. That's a good question. Denise Turner was 2.5 years old the first time she remembers the alien taking her. She was at home in Hartford.
There's a single.
Why does everything happen in England? Seriously. All like the creepiest UFO stories and people from Hollow Earth stories happen in England. That's a creepy
what's up
country.
with your home country?
Why don't you have tornadoes or volcanoes?
Yeah, like normal people.
Yeah. What's going on here? What's going on here, Dan?
What if, and this kind of relates to our previous codex thing.
Okay.
What if other countries and locations have had it, but those records were destroyed? And England is the only place where it almost the phenomena kind of swept the
Right.
continents,
Right.
and ours was the one where it kind of stopped.
Yeah.
And then it would also make sense why America would have similar ones because
Right.
Yeah.
England came here.
Yeah. You got nothing else going on there? We don't have any tornadoes or volcanoes, so I guess this is the most
Exactly.
interesting thing
Nobody's
we got
tried to
going
invade us in a long time.
Yeah.
Aliens. All right.
Aliens. All right. She was at home in Hartford when her grandfather, or with her grandfather. Her mother was at the hospital giving birth to her younger sister. She remembers staring out a large picture window and seeing an egg-shaped object in the sky, hovering over some power lines. Quote, "What's Humpty Dumpty doing up in the sky?" she asked. She remembers the fear in her grandfather's face when he suggested it was time for bed. Sounds like he knew what was going on.
Right.
Like, that's a grandfather
It's
who's, yeah.
Strange is it that it is egg shaped because
Yes.
I have recently done some research on UFOs for Tales of Earth on our
Okay.
Instagram. Check it out.
Okay.
So you're under there. There's like a little
I
plug.
like it.
Yeah.
I like
And there have been 2 other UFO sightings that are very egg or tic tac shaped.
Interesting.
Okay.
I'm a fan of Tic Tacs.
Yeah, but they were like really big
Orange ones.
spaceship tic tacs. But it was 2 separate sightings. One was by a U.S. Air Force flight crew.
Okay.
Oh,
And they have video of a strange object moving very rapidly.
I saw
Yeah.
that tweet where they were chasing it or
Yes.
something.
Yeah, yeah. I've
And
seen
then
that
there
one,
was
yep.
another one off of the coast of, I want to say it was San Diego, where people saw it hovering over the water.
Okay.
And then it took
I
off,
want to see that one. I do
Yeah.
want to see that one.
which I don't think I've posted that one.
For one thing,
Could be wrong.
if
Guess what you're getting tomorrow.
Today, actually. Today's the post day.
if I see what appears to be a UFO hovering over my property, I'm not going to tell my 2.5-year-old, granddaughter or not, I think it's time to go to bed. It would be, I think it's time to leave.
I think it's time to go get Granddad shotgun.
Actually, what I mean, to be fair, I could see his thought process being, I don't want my
Her to
granddaughter
get
to
scared.
panic
Yeah.
Yeah.
until I know
that's
what
true.
it is, because he
And then go
like,
call the police or something
exactly,
like that. Like,
you
go to
don't
bed
want-
and
No,
then
that's
immediately
true.
get on the
Yeah,
phone.
yeah.
Exactly,
Yeah.
you don't want to instill this
Terror.
permanent
That's
phobia
Yeah,
to your granddaughter until you know what it is.
I mean, that would make sense. The other night,
because what if it was just an owl?
right? I
And like you don't want to scare.
Egg-shaped owl.
Well, if you think about it, from like if
Yeah.
you're just seeing a shadow of
Yeah,
it, they are
that's
very
true.
egg.
That's true. Yeah, and some
they
owls can
move
be
fast.
quite large. That makes sense because the other night when we had that big hailstorm in Frederick,
We got it over
my
here.
daughter, yeah, my,
I've been getting a lot of hail
yes, we have.
lately.
And so hail can be a precursor to a tornado. It can be very dangerous. It can shatter, it can shatter
alien
windows.
abduction. Yeah.
That makes sense because like my daughter woke up and so I went in and I snuggled her and all I told her was it's just the rain, it'll go away. I didn't tell her it could shatter the windows.
Exactly.
It could be a precursor to a tornado.
We
Like, I
could
didn't-
all die.
Yeah, I didn't tell her any of that. I was just said it's okay, sweetheart. It's just the rain. It'll
Yeah.
go away.
Yeah,
yeah. And so
So I could see that
Yeah.
logic actually of why don't you go to bed? Or maybe it's
Yeah.
clearly you're tired and you're like in that state of when you are tired, you start kind of doing the half sleep, half dream thing. Mm-hmm. And he was just like, oh, clearly she's tired. She needs to go to bed.
Right.
It is late.
Yeah.
Yep.
She
Yeah.
is 2.5 years old.
She's seeing things now.
Yeah.
Like
All
that
right.
spaceship over the power lines.
Yeah.
I think I need to go to sleep.
Maybe you should go to bed.
Granddad, Granddad, what are you doing?
Nothing.
Get off my lawn. Later that night, as she lay staring at her nursery rhyme-themed wallpaper, an entity walked through her wall. Quote, he looked like a monk. He had a robe, and he was carrying a light. I wasn't afraid of him, she said. He put out his other hand for me to take it. And I did. He walked out into the hallway. The alien pointed his light at the wall, and they disappeared through it. She remembers being in a large dome-shaped room with a lot of other children, and they seemed to be learning something. In the morning, she was back in her bed. Since then, she says she has been taken more than 50 times from her home, from the street, from her car, the last time only 3 years ago, driving through the mountains in Colorado. Each time, it's the same.
I'm not going to the mountains.
Yeah. Rock slide bolters and this.
Aliens.
Is an alien.
Trying to teach me crap.
Each time, it's the same being responsible.
I know algebra now somehow.
Stupid.
She says, he looks like your typical gray alien, but he's one of the tall ones. It's just the very subtle shape of his face, his chin, and is a little wider. She explained. She calls him her escort. There's no friendship. He comes to get me, and I know I'm going to be safe, she said. He's also going to oversee whatever is done. Stoner, now 68, lives in Florida with her husband. Now retired, she works. Now retired, she works with fellow experiencers, people who feel they have been in contact with intelligent non-human entities. She also conducts investigations on behalf of the Mutual UFO Network, or MUFON. Being the experiencer is very much part of her identity. Her story is coherent. She doesn't ramble or get lost in the telling.
Interesting.
Do you want to know one of my genuine fears about this kind of thing?
What's that?
Is that it is, and I'm sorry, this is going to scare some people.
Okay.
That it is children being legitimately abducted by people, and they are too young to process what is going on. Because, I mean, if you think about it...
But she says she was abducted 3 years prior to this report.
This has happened 50 times.
It could be one of those ones where it's...
Like your mind is still...
Almost, your mind is trying to, almost try and protect you from the experience. And because of that, you have... It's similar to the theory of, well, once you know about aliens, therefore you think it's going to be aliens. That's always been a big fear of mine, of it really is someone came into your house and abducted this person, and then they went into this big room and they were essentially taught about aliens to almost try and make them believe that it was aliens and not they got abducted.
See, that would be my question to her. What were they teaching you?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if she clarifies.
Right.
Yeah.
They were learning something. Okay, that means that she was learning something.
Right.
Well, now, if I came out of there and suddenly I could move crap with my mind, cool.
That would be awesome.
Right.
The aliens are teaching me next. The aliens are teaching me to become a superhero. All right, I'm with you.
But the fact that she was almost in her, she was 65, I guess, by the time
that report was written.
Well, she was 68, so the last abduction was 3 years prior to that. So she was 65 and had the same experience with the same kind of escort.
So that would be my question. What are they? What are they
teaching you?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
So then I've got it. I've already figured it out. It's actually time travelers again, and they're trying to teach them how to fix the future.
Okay.
And no one believes
subconsciously guiding them.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, we'll never know. All right, story number 2.
Or we will at some point.
Yes, maybe we will. The Antonio Villas Boas abduction. I'm ruining that because I'm sure it's, can you tell me, how would you pronounce that?
The Antonio
Villa Boa?
Boas
abduction.
I would say Boas.
One of the earliest studied cases happened in Brazil when a farmer in the 1950s claimed a spacecraft emitting a very bright light landed on his family's farm. He continued to see the strange object until one night when it took him and left some disturbing evidence of alien experimentation. The farmer claimed the alien beings brought him on their ship to impregnate a rather fetching-looking female. That's his story. And described everything from the ship to his suitor in great detail. When he returned, he claimed the incident produced symptoms such as nausea, loss of appetite, headaches, and even bruising. Investigators have differed on their conclusions, but the differing outcomes only gave it more credibility and notoriety among believers and skeptics alike, especially the believers who are praying for an interstellar hookup of their own.
See, these
Interstellar.
stories,
That is so shaky.
these stories always sound to me like you were
yeah.
cheating on your wife, you got caught, and you came up with an elaborate story.
Yeah,
Like
well,
the
you see it was
succubus.
an
Yeah,
alien.
exactly.
Oh, I
Yes.
was paralyzed and this creature
Yeah,
came in
yeah.
and
Yes.
I couldn't do anything.
Couldn't do anything
It was a
about it.
very attractive woman.
Yeah, like, that one just sounds
that
like
one's-
somebody got caught
that's
cheating.
sad. Oh,
Yeah,
you got caught
that's-
cheating.
That's all
Yeah,
that
yeah.
sounds
Oh,
like
yeah,
to me.
yeah.
And
No,
had
it was
a very
aliens.
gullible significance.
Yeah.
Yeah. What? No way. We should call the newspaper. And he's like,
Man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The next one is one of the most popular stories, the Barney and Betty Hill abduction.
Okay.
There may have been cases of alien abductions since the dawn of time, or at least since psychiatric medications became more readily available and potent. But the most famous and first well-documented case goes to this couple of Portsmouth, New Hampshire. They claimed in September of 1961 that as they were driving home from Montreal, Canada, a bright light jutted out of the nighttime sky on a dark road. As the light approached them, they could see bipedal humanoid creatures looking out of the window of the spacecraft. What's going on? Where are we?
that was the teenagers.
Are we
It was a
there yet?
family road trip.
Are we
Stop
there
looking
yet?
out the window. Lock the door.
Yeah, we're on near Earth. All right, it's not a good part of the galaxy.
Yeah.
Lock the door. Stop staring.
The couple had no memory of the next 2 hours, but claimed they returned to their car where damages to their clothes and shoes left evidence of their spacey encounter. The incident made the two famous overnight and turned Betty into the nation's first UFO hunter. The state of New Hampshire also recognized the legend with an official historical marker on the 50th anniversary of the abduction.
Interesting.
So they lost 2 hours after seeing the spacecraft. And teenagers looking out the window.
Right.
So this is that Earth we've been hearing about.
So when they say, see, I need more description. They're like strange bipedal creatures. Like
Right.
you didn't
So
notice
people-
anything other anything
Sure.
other about them than the fact that they walked on two legs.
Right.
Yeah, like skin
At all,
color,
yeah, like
Yeah.
were they wearing
I'm not saying
clothes?
something didn't happen.
Right.
I'm just saying I always find it weird when people are so vague. Like
Yeah.
I saw creatures walking around on
Well-
two legs. All right, well, were they clothed?
Right.
Yeah.
Did they have hair?
Right.
Did
Yeah.
they like even if it was dark, you should have been able to notice something other than the fact that they walked around on two legs.
See, now if a cop ever like came up to me and was like, "Hey, we need you witnessed this crime. Can you describe them?" Well, they walked on two legs.
They walked on two legs.
Yeah, I
Like,
don't know what else
They
to
walked
tell
on two
you.
legs.
Clearly, that's all you need.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's like when somebody gets footage of something strange, it's always on the worst camera,
Right,
with the
yeah,
shakiest
yeah, yeah.
hands.
Yeah.
And it's as though so nobody else in the city, like in that entire
No one saw
city-
this.
No one saw it. Nobody
Yeah.
had a telephoto lens and decided to record it.
No one had a dash cam,
Yeah, something
Yeah,
more.
which
something-
is actually surprisingly common these
Yeah,
days.
yeah.
Right. Because I think if they did, they'd zoom in and be like, oh, it's skydivers.
Right.
Or whatever. And then, of course, you're not going to report it because it's skydivers.
Right.
And then everybody else blows it up because, like, oh, I got this shaky footage on my...
it's like,
yeah.
Why is it like that? I did that on purpose. Actually, it's more artistic. That
Yes,
way.
it's more artistic. This is how you record UFOs, right?
It's actually my Instagram UFO filter.
Yes.
Do you not have
The
that?
Instagram-
the,
No,
it's
it
the
is.
Cloverfield filter.
He's got I got the newest smartphone with the best pixelated camera and blah, 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 blah. He's like, well, I'm going to get out my UFO camera. And it's like some old Polaroid. He's like winding it up. Hold on.
Hang on. Old
But-
disposable.
I feel like nowadays there would be someone that would do that. And they're like, oh my gosh. And then they look back and it's got like the dog face filter that like fits on someone. It's like, oh no.
Those
no.
are weird looking aliens.
Yeah.
Man.
That's a
Got
cool
the
filter
big
you got there.
cutesy
No,
eyes,
it was
flowers.
real.
The barfing rainbow.
Yeah. That would be
Number
hilarious.
4.
Actually. Number first scientific proof of alien. That's a
Barf
picture
filter.
doing the barfing filter. Or ignore that part, but the rest of it's true.
The
Right?
rest of it's true. Oh, man.
This is what they would look like if they were a woman.
He was trying to communicate, but all that came out was rainbow.
Blah.
All right, number 4, the Allagash water, whatever number. I'm not going to tell all these because there's a lot of them. The Allagash waterway abduction. Most alien abduction stories, whether they remain credible or not. Also, this comes from the FW.com. Most alien abduction stories, whether they remain credible or not, usually are missing an important element to tie it all together. Witnesses.
Oh.
The famous case from 1976 involved 4 men who claimed to experience the same abduction, a secret they almost took to their graves. I think this might actually be the basis for Fire in the Sky. The men were fishing in a canoe in northern Maine when they saw a gleaming UFO with an 80-foot diameter and
Big as UFO.
and changing red, yellow, and green colors.
So a blimp.
According to the men, the UFO swooped down
a
and
wicker.
beamed them up with their canoe in a blinding light. They came to several hours later, not remembering anything after their abduction, but began to have frightening nightmares. They all underwent hypnosis and revealed their kidnappers were not from Earth. All of the men also took lie detector tests about their claims and passed.
Oh, wow. Actually, that's kind of cool. I like that one.
That is a frightening story.
Yeah.
This one, out of all
Especially
of them,
'cause
has
there's
the most
4.
credibility.
Yeah.
4
Four
that
of
they
them.
all line
And
up.
it all shares the same. You know,
Yeah,
exactly.
So we
Well,
all started
we've-
having nightmares.
right.
We all.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've essentially proven that mass hallucination doesn't exist.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you can have a lot of people hallucinating, but everybody hallucinating
Wouldn't-
the same.
Yeah, wouldn't have the
Exactly.
same thing.
Right.
It'd be like one guy was like, "What are you all talking about?
Yeah.
We got wasted. Steve fell out of the boat. That's
Yeah.
why he was wet.
That's why we pulled him up.
Yeah,
Right,
like,
yeah,
I was
yeah.
shining a flashlight around. What are you
Yeah.
talking about?
I couldn't
you
see where you
talking
guys
about?
were. Like, I had to use the spotlight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Spotlight on the
Or
truck.
guys in
We were
the,
like,
bottom of the boat, like, what are you doing?
I was
down there?"
pulling you to shore.
Jesus.
Yeah.
But no, that
did
would
you
be
guys
the most
drink
right.
that liquid out of my bottle? I told you I was saving that.
They all drink it but him.
And they all drink
He's
it
like
except him,
he's
and he's like,
disappointed. Man.
And he's also just kind of like, that sounds so fun.
That sounds so
Wish I was
fun.
abducted by aliens.
Yeah, that one. So that one actually.
Yeah,
is very
that one is
interesting to me.
yeah.
That
like
they
that.
would all have the same experience.
Experiences, yeah.
Yeah, and they would have no reason. It doesn't seem like they have any reason to make it up.
Yeah, what
They
would
don't-
be the point?
I mean, they're just
yeah.
4 guys out fishing.
Exactly. It's not like
Yeah.
it sounds
Right.
fishy, like,
Right,
and
yeah,
then we
yeah.
impregnated a bunch of women, but it was because of the aliens.
Because of the aliens.
You know, and then the aliens
Right.
dropped us off in the strip club.
Strangest place.
Strangest
Turns
place
out
to
it's a
drop
side
us.
business for them.
Yeah.
It's their cover.
Genius if you think about it.
Yeah.
That's why all of them, they're just bipedal and they're not wearing any clothes.
Yeah. There's.
And they move very weirdly.
Oh yeah. All right.
Anyways.
All right. And we'll share this last one. We'll talk
All right.
a little more about our conclusions. The Kursan, oh, for the love.
Nope, not even try.
Kursan Ilyumzinov. Sounds Russian, maybe? Abduction. The Kursan abduction, we'll just call it that.
Sure,
One
I
of
like
these
it.
stranger alien abductions, because these stories haven't been strange
Right.
at all.
The rest were so normal.
One of the stranger alien abduction cases came to light fairly recently and became famous because the person making the claim was a very, very high-ranking official. The former longtime head of the region of Kalmykia in Russia,
Sure.
noted for his love of chess and efforts to make his region a prime locale for championship tournaments. Sounds very Russian. Claimed on a talk show in 2010 that 13 years earlier, he had been abducted by space beings. He described the craft as a semi-transparent half-tube, occupied by human-like creatures in yellow spacesuits. Even stranger, he claims his meetings with the beings weren't for scientific experiments, but more for a meeting of interstellar minds. To boot, he revealed that aliens are responsible for bringing chess to Earth. That's what they were teaching the children in the room. It was chess.
They were teaching them how to play chess. And
the-
then they were like, these kids are idiots. Let's go to Russia.
Yeah.
But how boring a claim is that?
Yeah.
It's so boring.
Now
it
I
might
have this
be
image
true.
of like these aliens, like alien scientists on this far off world, like, Sir, we have perfected interstellar travel. Quickly, we must bring the Earthlings chess. But why, sir?
Put on
was
your yellow
actually their
spacesuits. We're going.
It was their test of like, let's teach them chess to see how smart they are.
That may be it.
And then they went through and they're like, oh crap, that guy's pretty good.
Yeah.
Let's not go back there.
Let's not go back there.
Let's try this over on this planet.
The official's words and claims prompted an investigation into his time as the region's president to make sure his decisions as a leader weren't affected by his interactions with the aliens. Good luck calling them to testify as character witnesses. Still, we've always thought serious chess players seem to be a bit off. That last sentence was unnecessary. All right. I apologize to those who actually enjoy
chess players.
Chess. So, yes, if you claim something like this, then you have to look at the guy's like past 13 years of performance on the job.
Sure, yeah.
Like, were they good decisions? Like,
Right, yeah.
Like, what happened 13 years ago?
Like, why is he so obsessed with chess?
That is a very strange, a semi-transparent half tube. A semi-transparent half
tube.
Tube. How does that work?
Like half a tube, or like
with
like this half? Or
yeah.
Which
Human-like
way
creatures.
are we cutting?
I would have gone.
Like
I would have
this?
gone. Yeah.
Like a boat.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah.
But if it's a meeting of the minds,
those four in a boat, they somehow forgot, went to Russia, taught this guy chess.
So, what I find interesting is that if it's an interstellar meeting of minds, why this guy?
Right.
Yeah.
Why this random Russian of all people? I mean,
what if, I don't
Yes.
know the time period, if this is related to that other one that we have mentioned of the missing cosmonauts? It was actually...
Oh,
They
the
came
lost cosmonauts. Yeah.
yeah, maybe they were picked up, came back,
taught him chess.
taught them chess.
So I have a question about all of these because it was...
That does tie into one thing, but go ahead.
I was going to ask... because I've always related alien abductions with crop circles as well.
Yes.
Did you find any of that?
Proven to be hoaxes.
Okay.
Long time
Generally,
ago.
yeah.
That's kind of what I
Long
figured
time
because
ago,
there's also an episode of Invader Zim
Yes.
where he thinks it's that, and then it turns out it's just a cow rolling around in the field
I like it.
Nice. In perfect.
in a perfect.
In
In a perfect
uniformity,
circle.
yes.
Yeah.
Smart cow.
So
He also
that
taught a
does
guy chess.
that claim. Chess is a very ancient game, and there's a
Mm-hmm.
claim. There's this belief that aliens came to. This is the ancient alien theory, essentially. That aliens came to the Romans. They came to various
Mm-hmm.
ancient like empires and peoples, and taught them various things, like how to build roads that will last longer.
Right.
Maybe they taught us chess.
That's the real
It's-
reason we don't have
it's-
documents. They're like, whoa,
Right, yeah,
why
yeah.
are you writing this down? No, we're burning that.
Yeah. So that does kind of tie into that, at least. Maybe they
Right.
did give us chess. Maybe it's a way to test intelligence. Maybe it's a way to train us up for something. What I also find interesting is
Or
that there's
prepare
so
us.
many.
I was
or
going to say
prepare us.
possibly
Or prepare us.
a species' ability to learn chess proves that at some point they will be part of the grander galactic universe.
I need to ask the
That's
guy
a conspiracy for another time. Believe it or not, there's actually a real theory on that.
Damn it.
Yep. There is
thought I came up with one.
there is a theory that if you believe hard enough, you can get psychic messages from this like galactic alliance beamed into your brain,
Sure. I'm believing pretty hard.
and that some of our ancient gods actually exist.
And
And
were
they're like
these
the
beings.
leaders
Yeah.
to this day are like the leaders of this
Interesting.
extraterrestrial like pantheon of governments and whatever. That's a real theory. People actually believe it.
Okay.
And that the reason you're not receiving the messages telepathically is
Is you do not believe hard
you not
enough.
believe hard enough.
Interesting.
So, what
You
do
know,
you believe? Yes, go ahead.
I need to find whoever came up with 3D chess and find out if they got visited by aliens. And
Oh,
the
I would've
aliens
said
were
punch
kind
him
of
in the
like,
face, but okay.
well, that too.
They got visited by aliens from
They-
a higher dimension.
Actually,
A different dimension.
the aliens showed up and they're like, you got chess the first time. 3D.
Oh, mind blown. All right, so alien abductions. What do you guys think? Are they real? Are they not real? Is it a mixed bag?
I think
Mixed
I would
bag.
think it probably a mixed bag.
Okay.
Would be
I
my
think-
guess.
There are too many that sound too fake and an
Yeah.
excuse for me
Yes.
to go, this is
Like
positively
the farmer who
real.
slept with a woman.
Exactly.
Because aliens
But then
made me.
aliens
there are
made me
the
do it.
ones where it's 4 people pass a lie
Yes.
detector test with the
Yeah.
exact same story.
It's pretty scary.
Like that's the kind of one where
Well,
it's
they,
like,
they had
okay,
to go under
there,
hypnosis to
Exactly.
bring back some of those memories. Yeah.
like there may be some legitimacy, whether it's aliens from outer space or
Yes.
government officials or
Extra dimensional.
aliens
or-
in terms of
And-
someone from another country, because
Yes.
we would
Yeah.
go, man, that's a strange language that I've never heard before. They're walking on 2 legs. They look similar to us,
Yeah.
but also
Right.
different. It would make sense
covered
to be
in denim.
covered in denim.
denim.
Also, what I find interesting about their stories, they didn't want to talk about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They almost took it to their graves.
Exactly, because like there's that
So
other
that's
aspect
kind of frightening.
of people aren't going to believe you, so obviously you will take it to the grave because you're like, well, I don't want people to.
But
think
if you're just making it up,
exactly,
then you want to tell everybody.
Yeah, we might as well tell everybody.
Yeah.
Screw it.
That's true.
Coming back from your fishing trip, and literally everybody you can see. Oh, let me tell you about when I was abducted by aliens.
Yeah.
Gary saw it. He was there too.
I think if you tell everybody this, you might get fired from your job. And,
Now, it's more believable to me that 4 guys, something happened, and they're like, we don't talk about this.
Yeah.
We're all in agreement, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, they accidentally killed their 5th friend.
Yeah. Oh, there you go.
So I agree. I think it's a mixed bag. I think just because you can explain away 1 or 2 alien abduction stories doesn't mean you explain all of them. Because when you really look at some of them, they're not explainable. They're not easily explained away.
Right.
And it's one thing to say, yeah, I was in my bed and I couldn't move and I kind of saw these things and I woke up still in my bed. Probably had a nightmare. It's probably sleep paralysis. But to say that like I was driving and suddenly there was this bright light and I woke up in the middle of the road, everything was fine. Like 4 hours later.
Yeah, with no memory of what just happened.
Right.
Yeah.
Especially on a road that's trafficked.
Yep.
You know, people are going to stop you. They're going to try to help you.
There would be other people driving down that road.
Exactly. Those are a little more frightening, and they're a little more. There are more reasons not to go camping, and so yeah, I think it's a mixed bag. I think it does happen, and maybe some of it is our government.
Yeah,
we don't know. I mean, that's the
or someone else's government.
Now, here's what it is: it is the government, but the government is secretly run by the aliens who came to this planet long ago and are doing stuff.
Yes,
they're also controlled by AI.
And when we're taken, they just take us up to the hollow moon. So
or just
they
a
actually bring
spaceship
us
that is
down.
cloaked currently.
The dome is actually the shell of the turtle that we are on the flat Earth. They got brought down.
Maybe they're taking us from up here down there.
Or
maybe
this is all a simulation, and that's when you're unplugged.
Ooh, I like that one. Ooh, that's a good story. Hang on to these, man. You got to review these episodes or write down these stories.
That
is good.
That's when you're unplugged.
I like that
The bright
one.
light is like the light of the room.
Oh,
you're actually in.
as you get unplugged. Yeah. And then they do whatever they do.
And you can't move.
And they plug you
you
back
can't
in.
move because your muscles aren't developed.
Yeah. Exactly.
Like,
and this
get me out of
guy's
here.
like, oh, crap, I tripped over the plug. Plug it back in. Quick.
Goes back in. Oh, man. I love it.
Damn it, Jeff the alien. Stop tripping over the plug.
I had to start reading more
Jeff.
novels.
Yeah, Alien Jeff. Well, if you're Alien Jeff, thank you for watching this episode of Conspiracy Cast, where we love the Illuminati. We really do.
And Cthulhu.
Application's almost through. And sure, I love the Illuminati more. I'm just saying.
I mean, to be fair, Cthulhu's got an egg-shaped head.
He does.
That would be haunting.
Daddy, why is Cthulhu on the power lines?
Go get Daddy's shotgun.
Also go to bed.
Also go to bed.
But then go to bed.
But then, go get Daddy's shotgun. She's
And
like
then go to
2.5-year-old. Like,
She's coming out with like a shotgun, a box of shells.
You've
All
trained
right,
her
now
well.
go to bed.
Trained her well.
I didn't know which one you wanted, so I grabbed the big one.
Do not let your children near your weapons.
No.
Let us know what you think about alien abductions. Are they real? Are they fake? Is it a mixed bag?
Did you
Let us know what
experience
think.
one?
Did you experience? Ooh, yes. Please tell us. Did you experience one? I, to this day, as far as I know, have not experienced one.
To my knowledge, I
To
have
my
not
knowledge,
experienced.
yes.
I have experienced things that sounded similar to some of those,
Yes.
but I would not relate to aliens.
Fair enough.
Yeah. And you can find Dan here. Where can they find you, Dan?
They can find me on Twitter and Instagram at DanTProducer or on Twitch at DanTStreamer.
Yes, you can find me on YouTube at Film Circuit and on Twitter at Film Circuit and Instagram at Northward Films. I did it.
Wow, got that one. That's pretty
And
good.
don't forget
yeah.
our Tales of Earth merch
Yes.
in the link below in the description. And Andy, where can they find you?
I am Fry and the Andy on Instagram, and that's it.
Thank you so much. Join us next time when we talk about cut. Andy's, or not Andy. Who is he?
Dylan.
I'm Andy.
I like
It's
that.
just gonna cut it there.
I like that. When we talk about cut, and Dylan, don't put him saying cut.
Cut. Yeah.
Just cut it there.
Yeah, just cut it there.
Yes.
Also, don't put in the part where we're explaining this, because it's not nearly as good.
That's the after credit scene.